So as I have said, there are two main methods of creating the stickers. So let us look at the first one by making use of a fill layer. Now let me import some logos which we will be stamping on his shirt. Let me use these stuffs. So some of them are alpha. So this Adidas alpha will be alpha. This is the color. This is important to be said correctly, otherwise things will not work. This one is color, which will be texture. Rocket alpha, this one is alpha. Rocket
अल्फा कहाँ से बनाने का?
वो सब अल्फा बनाना बहुत ही आसान है. Let me first import this, then I'll show.
Yes.
Okay, let me specify them as alpha and texture. Import all of them into current project. So they are all imported. So the way to create alpha is like this. We will need Photoshop. Let me show how to create alpha for this one, with this guy. This one. So what we will need to do is, first we will need to cut out the things that we do not need and create this background. Then what we need to do is create pure black color and fill it. Then click on this layer, double click on this layer, not on the name, on the layer, then go to color overlay there. This one, color overlay, and set it to white. Click on this, then you will find the option to set the color. This need to be pure white, which means fully visible. A black layer, and we apply a color overlay to this layer, and that's how we create the alpha. It can be saved as JPEG or PNG, it will not matter. In the same way, all of these guys has been created alpha. Now this one is not square. It will not work correctly with the method that I will show right now, which I have previously shown. So let us start with the fill layer. Let me quickly demonstrate everything. Let me make it a metallic sticker. Roughness, let me set it really low. Then add a black mask, you guys will know it. Then add paint, add black mask, then paint. Then what we need to do is specify an alpha. So this is the alpha, just click on it and it will automatically take it. Then drag and drop the color to the grayscale, then we've got it. We just need to stamp now. Control left mouse button drag, it will rotate the logo. Control and right mouse button drag, it will scale the logo. Control and left mouse button drag to rotate, control and right mouse button drag to scale. So that's done. We just need to single click on it and it will be created, as you guys can see. Let's create one more here. Now the advantage of this method is that we can change the parameters of this layer at any time. Since this is a fill layer, as you guys can see, we can change whether it's metallic or not. We can change its color, we can make it redder, bluer. So that's the advantage of it. So that is one way of creating sticker. There is one more way. Let me disable it by making use of paint layer. So this is a paint layer. We can choose from any of the presets. We have got many alpha presets here. As you guys can see, they are organized into basic, brushes. We can use any of them. We just need to click on them and we are, let's say this one, this plus icon. Alpha is created. We just need to specify the color now. We need to specify these parameters before we apply the stamp. We won't be able to change it later. We can, but we will need to apply filters for that. So we can specify the roughness, the color. Let's make it pink and stamp. So this is how we stamp stuffs. We are making use of alpha presets that we have got inside the content browser. We have got tons of them. We can use any of them however we like.
स्टैम्प करने के बाद हम उसको रिसाइज कर सकते हैं?
रिसाइज तो नहीं कर सकते वो, रिसाइज
कलर,
हाँ, स्केल भी नहीं कर सकते, घुमा भी नहीं सकते और मूव भी नहीं कर सकते, जस्ट कलर करेक्ट कर सकते हैं. हम ह्यू चेंज कर पाएंगे. लेट्स से राइट क्लिक ऑन इट एंड ऐड फिल्टर, click on this, type HSL percentage, then we will get this one. This, you guys will be pretty familiar with this one, the same tool that we can find inside Photoshop. So we can change the hue with this. As you guys can see, we can change the lightness, we can change the saturation. So these are the stuffs that we can do after we have done the stamping, but we cannot move or rotate them. So this is one way. Let us import let us create another paint layer and project. Let's stamp this one. This one we cannot use them with fill layer. We will need to make use of paint layer for this because it has got its own color, since we specify the color with fill layer here by adjusting this setting. But when a logo is colorful, we will need to make use of paint layer. So I have created a paint layer. I have selected it, then I specify the alpha, which is already set, then drag and drop color to the base color and roughness. We can do it, I think. Yes, so that's how we can do it. It's pretty simple and fast. One more here. So that's how we can do it. That must be clear. Okay, andar aa jao. So we can start today's topic, I think, now.
So today's topic is character texturing, and we will be doing the face.
There are many ways of doing character texturing. So the scene that I have provided is inside this folder. This one, I have provided the eye texture and some logos to try. Then this one, this mesh girl. So this is what we will be texturing today. Since this is a stylized character, we will be doing stylized texturing. Hang on, I first want to make the environment visible. Let me use a studio lighting here, 3-point lighting. I'm using 3-point lighting here. So opacity, blur, disable. Okay. So this is what we've got. This is split into 5 texture sets. Let me show. Let me open this girl inside Maya and show it. So as you guys can see, I have created 5 groups, and each of these groups are applied one material, which means in total it's gonna create 5 texture sets inside Painter, which is exactly what we can find here. Today we will be doing just a face, and it will look something like this inside the Painter, but after we have applied the subsurface scattering inside Arnold, which we will see today or in our later sessions, it will look a little better with some subsurface scattering going on. You guys will know what subsurface scattering is. Have you heard of this word before? Subsurface scattering means the bouncing of light inside materials like skin or jelly, translucent substances like flesh, jelly, milk, grapes, fruits. Yes, so that's the effect that it creates a sort of scattering effect, which are more prominent and visible in thin areas like this nostril part, the ears, which we will see when we will use the Arnold renderer for rendering the subsurface scattering. So inside Painter it look like this, and inside Arnold it will look something like this. So this is what we will be doing today by making use of paint layers, masks, and some brushes. So let us get started. We will start with some foundational flat colors, then we will add more details to it. We will add details to base color, roughness, all those channels. We will not be using any ID for this since it's fairly. So let's start with the body and face texture set. Delete the paint layer. So the first layer that we will be creating is the skin layer. I've created a folder there. Let's rename it skin or face. There is one trick for this. If we all click on color, all the other channels will be disabled. Then we can select the roughness. Let's keep it high for now. Let's create a very basic skin tone for her. Something like that will be fine. So that's the basic skin for now. Then let us set her hair. Hair will also be pretty simple. Okay, this texture set, facials, let me solo it. It contains the eyebrows, lashes, teeth, and gum. Let us do this first. Unsolo. Create a folder. Name it eyebrow. Eyebrows. Create a folder and put it inside. So this will be eyebrow. Alt color, roughness. It will not be too dark, something little bit red. Not too dark, something like that. Okay, eyebrow is done. What else is left? we will need to add the mask properly. Add black mask, then this tool, mesh one. This is UV chunk, this is mesh, this is face, this is individual triangle, so we will be using this one. Okay, that's done. Eyebrow is done. Now let's take care of eyelashes. Control duplicate. Eyelashes will be black. Change the mask. To clear it, we can black mask it again. Then select the tool again, mesh. For that, we cannot use mesh because there are so many of them. So let's put it at the bottom. Let's change it to teeth for now. Teeth. And make it white. So this one will be teeth. Add black mask, which is already done. Add mesh. So let us select our teeth one at a time. They're pretty much done. Now gum. Control duplicate the same group, but this will be gum. GUM. Color will be something red. Not too much red, darker. Change the mask. First clear it, black mask. Select the tool again. Mesh. This and that. Okay. Let's use the same thing for the tongue for now. We can change them later. So this one is pretty much done. Now let us make everything black. Then this eyelashes will get the black color. Let's create a fill layer at the bottom. Then make it black. Then it should make all the eyelashes black. Yes. Make it pure black. Roughness high. Roughness is 1. Okay. Facials are done. Now let us first take care of her eyes. It's looking like a ghost. So I have provided an eye texture that I have previously painted inside Photoshop. It looks something like this. Where is the folder? This one. These are the 3 textures that I have provided. So this is the eye texture that we will use. But first we will need to do some edit because this eye texture was used for another character. To fit into this character, we will need to do some squishing and squashing, which can be done inside the Photoshop. So let's do that. For that, let me save this one first. Phase 2, in case the program crashes like before. Eyeballs. Let me check its UVs. You guys will know how to create a UV snapshot. You guys have probably done it before. So this is how we select all the UVs, then we click on UV snapshot. Resolution, I need 512 is fine because that is the resolution of that eye texture that I painted. So that looks good. Browse, file, save. Okay, apply and close. Is this the UV? Yes. Inside the Photoshop. Okay, then black G. Okay, this is the UV. We will need to fit it here. So where is that map? This one. It's exactly 5K. Okay, let me make this brighter so that I can see things properly. Okay, iris is too big. This is the sclera portion, this is the iris, and this is the irisole. So let me rasterize this and duplicate. Control J is the shortcut. Yes, this one will be the iris mask. Let me do that. Add mask, brush, Yes, I'm separating this iris portion so that I can make it smaller to fit to that girl eye. Okay, let me make it smaller. I think this is the line we want to follow. Let us see. Let us keep it there for now. Okay. Save as. Save as will not work. Export. Things have changed in newer version of Photoshop. Quick export as PNG. Eye texture. Okay. Let us check. Back to Painter. Then import resources. Where are you? Add resource. Desktop. Eye texture. This one. Open. Don't specify. Don't forget to specify as texture. Import. Now, where are we? We need to go inside the eyeball texture set and create a fill layer. Then things are pretty much the same, just like we did before. I will be needing color and roughness. Project, this one. Assign it to base color. Keep the roughness pretty rough. Okay. Where was the reference? This one. Is it too big or too small? It looks fine for now. We can change it later, but it will need to get a lot more darker. It's too bright. Let us apply some color correction, which can be found inside filter. Right click on the layer, add filter. These are the channels on which to apply the filter. We will apply the filter only on color. HSL. We can apply this. We can do something like this. Or there is a better filter. Clear the search. What are we looking for is color correct. This one. We can adjust the shadow midtone separately. Reduce the highlight. Reduce the midtone. Shadows. We have got separate control for them. Okay. Let's make them a little bit redder. Add another filter. HSL. Let's try HSL. You guys will be familiar with this one. It's pretty much the same as in Photoshop. We can make it redder, bluer, greener. I want to make it redder and a little bit more darker. The specular is working fine. Let's keep it like this for now. So the next thing will be some basic color on her clothes. Let's do that real quick, then we will get to her face. Let me enable the shadow. Painting skin texture by hand is a little bit complex and difficult and time consuming. There are mainly two methods for doing skin texturing. The first one is using a projection technique. The first method is projecting scanned texture on meshes, which gives us more realistic effect. Then the second method is manually painting the texture by hand. Skin texturing is a little bit more difficult than hard surface texturing, as you guys will see now. Let's first take care of the easy stuffs. Let us first take care of her clothing. Let us apply some basic color to her clothes. Folder, create a fill layer. I am only worried about color and roughness. Keep the roughness high. What color I used for her? Pink. Let's use the same color we previously used. You guys can try different patterns. You guys can use your own design. And what I added was a white pattern. I added white pattern on the top of that. So let's just do that. So this one is clothing, right? So this one will be top portion. Add the mask, add black mask, the same thing which we have been doing. Mask. Okay, that's done. Then the second one will be paint. The masks will be different. This one, why are you getting confused? The same tool that we have been using. It is set to mesh, which means we will individually need to select the stripes. Let us select them. Okay, now the color can be changed. Let us set it to dark blue. Hang on, Aram say dark blue. Give me a dark blue color. Thank you. That will be done. Let us set some white pattern on the upper body. Okay, we will need to add some interesting pattern. Right click, add black mask, add fill. The same tool that you guys have been using. Clear search. What am I looking for? Some interesting patterns, right? Which can be found inside procedurals, I think. Procedural fabric. I used which one? We can use any of these. You guys can try different patterns. Which one I used previously? Let me search that. Let us try this one. What's it did? We'll need to change the tiling. It's too much. 12. No. This was not the pattern. Let's look for some other pattern. Huh? Skip pasta. Yeah, huh? This was the pattern I used. Let's make them a little bit bigger. Bigger, which means the number need to be smaller. 8. Yes. Okay, that looks pretty fine. There was one more pattern I added. That one. Let's take care of that too. Control duplicate. This one will be dark pink. Let's add the pattern real quick. Which one I added? Geometric. Gradient. Fabric. This one I added, I think. Come below. Okay. 7, 4. 7 looked fine. We can do one thing. Base color. Reduce the opacity. Yes. That will be fine for now. Now let us move to her face. Let us jump back to body and face. We have applied only one color to it. Let us add some variations. This one will be base. Duplicate. Control save. Color 2. This one will be darker. More desaturated. Okay. Let us blend them. Black mask, add fill. Let us look for some organic noise that we can add. Let's try this one. We will need to change the tiling a lot higher. 24. But the color isn't matching. We can adjust contrast. No, we want to keep the contrast low. Increase the tiling a little bit. How about we make it 44? Yes. 44. Let us adjust the color. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . brighter color. Okay, very subtle difference. It's very subtle difference. It must be hard to see in the projector. Okay, let's start with that. A red layer. Red layer. This layer will be and a lot redder. Something like that. Add black mask. Add paint. Now let us get painting. I will select a very simple brush here. Brush, where are you? No. Brushes are inside presets. Brushes, basic. I will be selecting a basic soft brush. Okay, yes. But first we need to reduce the opacity and fill a lot. By a lot. Too much. Yes. Hang on. Let me solo this. Then painting becomes easier. We can enable symmetry. For that we press L. Then you guys will see this one, this line, and you will see the symmetry point over there. So let's paint by using symmetry. This is the reason where blood is more apparent. Where see the blood more. Let me make it more saturated. This will be the eye regions, the ear regions, where the blood is scattered more. Let me increase the stroke opacity. We can erase it. Erasing flow. Let us add this red variation all over the place. I will apply the same thing to the nose region. These are the portions where scattering of light is more, because the thickness of the skin is less here. The more aggressive scattering can be found in these regions, which will not make much of the difference now, since these are very subtle changes. As you guys can see, painting by hand is a little bit painful. Hard surface texturing is a lot easier inside Painter. It's taking shape. So let us add this red portion all over the place, all over the head. Let me add this to our hands too. The elbow portions are a little bit darker, so we can use that here. We can randomly apply this shades, this blends. It will give us this subtle variation, which are very important for creating believable texture. I'm just creating random strokes all over the place. Let me add more redness to the eye region and forehead. We haven't created her lips yet, right? So we will do that now. Okay, we have added all this red variation. Right now I'm just using a very simple soft brush. We will be using more complex brushes in a moment. Let us create the lips now. Let us create a subfolder called lips inside the skin folder. We can also place it outside because the lips will have its own mask. Alt color, then it will disable all the other channels. Let us create a dark pinker color for the lips. Roughness will be low. Then here on the pink lips folder, add black mask, add paint. So let us paint her lips mask. We can close some of these softwares. I think it's slowing down. Close Maya. Photoshop can also be closed. Okay. What is the viewport resolution? Let's check. 2K. Okay. Increase the brush size. Viewport was becoming less interactive. Flow we can increase. Stroke opacity. Yes. It needs to be set to full. Let's paint it. Paint the lips. Oh, it has got a strong specular. Is that because it has got low value roughness? No. That's a terrible work. We cannot create the mask like this. It needs to be clean and nice. Let me reduce the roughness a little bit. Let me fix this mask. Go back to the paint layer. Okay. This one is bad mask painting. We will need to fix it. Eraser, where are you? Opacity need to be changed. Stroke and flow. Create a smooth blend here in the lower portion. Lips are done for now. Let's keep it rough. We can adjust the opacity here. Just make the lips a little bit darker than the skin, not too much, to keep it believable. Since we are not using lipstick for her right now, we want to give the real color of lips. Just keep it a little bit darker and pinker than the skin color. We can adjust it later. So the lips are done for now. Make it a little bit darker. For the skin we have added only 3 layers. Now let us add some spots, some dark spots on her skin. Let us add first some light spots, making use of some noise texture. Let me specify the color properly first. Give me a skin color but darker color. Yes, this will be spots. SPOTS, spots. Add black mask. Add fill. Add fill, where are you? Add fill. Now let us look for some noise textures. This one will work, I think. Let's try this one. Okay, nothing can be seen because the spots are too big. We will need to increase the tiling. 5, a lot more. 24, yes, that looks fine. How about a little bit more? We can increase the contrast here. Yes, keep the contrast not too high, just a little bit low. Balance, we can adjust balance, something like this. And the tiling, 30. How about 30? Okay. Let me make this one. Let me add some rotation to it. Rotation. Okay. It is not looking natural. We need to do a lot more adjustments here. What if we make this one lighter spots, little bit too much, a little bit too aggressive. As you guys can see, we can adjust the opacity here. Let's give it somewhere 61 for now. We are getting there. We are getting some texture, but without subsurface scattering, things look pretty plastic and not skin-like at all. So these light spots are done. Now let us add some dark spots using some dirt brushes. add another fill layer. Dark spots. Okay, roughness will be high for the spots. Dark spots. Add black mask. Add what we want to add here. Add paint. And select the paint. Select some interesting brush. Dirt, where are you? This one. Let's try this one to create some dots. Is it working? Hang on. Let me check. Is it painting or not? Yes, it is painting, but in a very subtle manner. Let's try this one. Add paint layer. Clear the previous one. Enable symmetry, L, and disable all the other things so that we see things properly. Control save. Spots are usually in this region. Cheeks. Opacity is too high. We can adjust the intensity later. Let us just create a layer of the spots. Is it working? Things look too much. We will need to erase it. Is it making any difference? Yes. Okay. Just add all of the spots all over the place to make it more believable. This portion will not be seen, so let's not give too much of love to it. Let's come to our neck region and roughly apply all of these spots, which will be very important for creating more believable skin texture. We're texturing her hands too. Is it visible in the projector? These are very subtle changes, as you guys can see. Let me disable the symmetry and paint in this center region. Right now it's looking really ugly. We will need to do a lot more tweaking. Let's go to base color. Let me add more color variation to this face. Let me add green and yellow, blue and yellow. Add black mask, add paint. Give me a simple brush, basic soft brush. Click on the slider, little bit blue. And a little bit yellow on the forehead. Black mask. A bit yellow in this region. We have added a little bit of yellow to the forehead, which is exactly what we wanted. Now let us adjust this red paint a little bit more. Let us add this red paint a little bit more. We add more redness in this region. As you guys can see, the painting skin texture by hand is really painful and time consuming. A lot more difficult than hard surface texturing, where we use procedural tools. We are almost done. Red. Let us add a nice gradient here of the red. This blue is a little too much. Reduce that blueness. Thank you. Ear region becomes redder because this is thinner and light scatters more in this region. I forgot to turn on the symmetry, so I will need to do the same thing to the other side now. We are pretty much there. The shortcut for symmetry was L, right? But it does look a little bit like skin. We will need to do a lot more adjustments here. We'll do just that. Now the final layer that we will add to this is a pink layer for her cheeks. Okay, let's add that pink layer. Hang on, not that aggressive. Darker, more desaturated. Add black mask, add paint L. Let's apply some symmetry here. Applying some pink to her cheek, around her eyes. We will adjust the intensity in a moment. Disable symmetry. Okay. Adjust the intensity. Just a little bit. Now let us make some final adjustments to her. Roughness. Let's start with roughness. Roughness looks really messed up. Skin is rough, but not that rough. Let's match the roughness and make it something like this. Show me material. Okay, now let us adjust the intensity of some of the spots so that they don't look too aggressive. Can reduce the blue intensity a little bit, spots intensity a little bit. Let us see everything together. So this is just the base color and this is everything enabled. The pink color is too much, I think. Darker, desaturated. Okay, let us try render it right inside the painter and see how that looks. Then we will render it inside Arnold using subsurface scattering, which we will do in our later sessions. So this is how it looks now. Looks fine. Does not look terribly bad. It will be fine for stylized characters. So we have come to the end of our session. Any questions you guys can ask now about this painting or previous sessions?